Hi friends, and welcome to MusiCity Kids. My name is Tamara with Love in a Big World, and I am so glad you are here with us. Happy New Year. Wow, we are off to quite a start with 2021. Remember, we want to help you grow strong in mind, body, and heart. And in order to do that, we've got to take a look at what's happening in our big world. You know, we had some very disturbing events take place at the Capitol building last week in Washington, D.C. And here in Nashville, we actually had a bombing happen on Christmas Day. There is some crazy stuff happening in this big world. And that's reminded me that we've got to go back to the basics. The basics of choosing courage, honesty, kindness, caring, cooperation, dependability, respect, responsibility. Friends, we have all got to learn how to love each other. And that starts with learning how to love ourselves. So, today we're going to be exploring all of this. And to get us started, we've got Family Fit Mom. So get up and get moving.
Hey MusiCity kids, Family Fit Mom here. So glad I get to hang out with you again this week. This week we're talking about honesty, integrity, and doing the right thing. I was just thinking about a time where I had to be honest, and a time when I did it right, and a time when I didn't do it right. So when I was younger, when I was in middle school and high school, I ran track, and I ran track and field during the summer. During the summer, we had a lot of kids who were at practice at the same time, and only 3 or 4 coaches. So the coaches would give us what we were supposed to do at particular times during practice, and they trusted us to use the honor system to do the workout that they gave us to do. I can remember a specific time where I really wasn't feeling it. I knew what I was supposed to do, but I knew I wouldn't get caught because they couldn't monitor me that much. So I made the decision to not quite do the entire workout that they gave me, just because I was tired and I honestly didn't feel like it. No one ever found out until meet day, and we couldn't figure out why I wasn't performing quite the way I normally would. And I never told them, but I could trace it back to a time or two actually, where I didn't quite do the entire workout that was assigned. You know, it doesn't benefit you sometimes when you don't do what you know is right. I never told anybody what happened. I never told anyone that I didn't do the workout, but it showed up later. Whether I came forward or not, my being dishonest and not doing what I knew was right during those practices came back to get me later on. So I did have another opportunity after that to make it right. So from then on, whether I felt like it or didn't feel like it, I did the workout as assigned. I had integrity. I did what I knew was right. And when I did that, when I went to track meets, sometimes I did great. Sometimes I didn't always win, but I knew that it wasn't because I didn't do what I was supposed to do in practices. I know that you're not always gonna win. So it could have just been that day I just wasn't the best in the field. But it wasn't because I didn't give my best efforts, and it wasn't because I loafed and didn't quite do what I was supposed to do at those track practices. So I just want to encourage you to live with honesty, live with integrity, do what's right, even when no one's looking, because you know either you can pay for it later or you can have success from it later. So guys, I'm challenging you to be honest and do what's right.
Thanks, Family Fit Mom. And next, we've got some STEM activities for you. Put on your thinking caps. It's Steve Sherman, all the way from South Africa.
Hey Tamara, it's Steve again, and I want to talk to you about math and kindness. What does math have to do with kindness? Well, I'm going to show you a little example that will take a while for you to understand, but then you will see the connection. I have a piece of paper over here, and I want to challenge you. Can you fold a piece of paper in half 10 times? I'll let you try that on your own, but I'm going to give it a go. I take my piece of paper, I fold it once, I folded twice. I folded 3 times. 4, 5, 6, 7. I could only get 7. Why can't I get 10? Well, there are 2 obvious reasons. Number 1, the paper is getting thicker. And of course, number 2, it's getting smaller, which makes it really, really difficult to fold. So here's the thing. Let's pretend I didn't do the folding, and all I did was I took a laser beam. I take my piece of paper, and I slice my piece of paper in half and put that part on top of the first part. I slice it again, and I put that part on top of the other part, and I continue to do that 50 times. How high do you think your pile of paper will be? This high? This high? Maybe as high as you are. Actually, hold on to your seats. It's going to be from here to the sun. What? How could it be from here to the sun? Well, if you were able to take 2 times 2 times 2, 50 times on a calculator, and you're going to need a fancy calculator to do that, you then have to multiply that by the thickness of one piece of paper. How do we do that? We get 100 sheets, we measure it and divide your answer by 100, and you'll get the thickness of one piece of paper. You multiply that by the very large number you have on your calculator, and it'll be equivalent to the distance from here to the sun. What has that got to do with kindness? Well, have a look. Right now we have one piece of paper. When you folded it the first time, it was now 2 sheets. When you fold it again, it became 4 sheets, then 8 sheets, then 16 sheets, then 32 sheets. In fact, that is what we call exponential growth. So why am I telling you this? Can you imagine if you could pass on kindness to 2 people, and each of them pass on kindness to 2 people, and each of them pass on kindness to 2 people? It would go from 1 person to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16, and in several amounts of time, it could be several 100,000 or even million. I hope that you think about that during these difficult times. Back to you, Tamara.
Thanks, Steve. And next, we're going to hear from our friend, Dr. E.
Hey, Tamara and friends.
Hey, Tamara and friends. How are you? Well, my niece and I are out here talking about me being an anthropologist, and I think I've mentioned to you all before on the program that as an anthropologist, that means that I study people and I study their behavior. And so when I pay attention to what people do and how people behave, that tells me a lot about who people are, and it also tells me some important things about things that are valuable or important to them as well. And so one of the things being an anthropologist that I have paid attention to and I know is that human beings, what makes us human is that we have to live together in groups, that we don't live separate from each other, but we live together, and that living together is part of what makes us fundamentally human. And so because we live together with each other, that means that what we do affects the other people around us, that our behaviors have an effect on other people. And so because of that, that means that we oftentimes have to control what we do, that we may not do all of the things we might like to do because we are not only thinking about ourselves, but we're also thinking about the people around us as well. And so some people call that self-control, but another name for self-control is self-regulation. And that self-regulation is really important because it helps us to be able to live together in harmony with each other. Because I control my behavior because I know my behavior has an effect on you, and you control what you do because you know it has an effect or an impact on me as well. And so in our family, we practice self-regulation because we have to think about what we do and the impact it has on the other people around us as well. And so Ariana, what are some things that we do in our family in terms of controlling our behavior, because we control our behavior because we know that it has an impact on other people? What are some things that we might do?
Well, actually, before I do something, I like to ask my family members to see their thoughts.
Okay, so asking family members their thoughts about what it is that you plan to do is a great way of being able to check in with other people, and also helps to be able to make some decisions about how we regulate our own behavior or how we exhibit self-control. That's a great thing to do in terms of thinking about the impact we could potentially have on other people. And so this week, as we're talking about the idea of self-control or self-regulation, I really want to encourage all of us to think about that what we do has an impact not just on us, but it has an impact on the people around us. And that when we take time to be considerate and to think about what we are doing and how it might affect other people, then it may help us to make better decisions about what we do. And that when we make better decisions or we think about other people along with thinking about ourselves, those are some really important ways of being able to show love in a big world. And so until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Dr. E. All right, next we've got Sophia with a fun activity just for you.
My name is Sophia, and today I'll be making origami. Origami is the Japanese word for folding paper, and I'll be showing you how to fold a paper crane. There's an old Japanese legend that says if you fold 1,000 paper cranes, you can make a wish and it'll come true. So let's get started. First, take a square piece of paper, fold it in half, crease it, unfold, then do the same thing to the other side. Once you're done, fold it diagonally now, crease it, unfold, then do the same thing to the other side. Now your piece of paper should look a little like a tent. Now we'll take these perpendicular lines, fold inward, and now you should have a square shape. Take one of the corners of the square that we now have, fold inwards, crease, and it should look like this. Do the same thing to the rest of this side and the other side so that your paper looks like a kite. Now unfold these creases that we just made and take this piece right here, pull it up. So now we have a pocket. Use the creases that we just made, fold inwards, fold down, then up to create a bigger diamond. Do the same thing to the other side and your paper should look like this. These pieces right here will be our wings, but first we have to make the legs and the head. First, flatten this out, fold in this piece of paper at an angle so that it looks like this. Do the same thing to the other side, but this time we're going to take this top piece using the same technique, fold in, crease, and we have our head. One final touch, curl the wings so that they're in a flying position, and hold the crane at the base of the neck, pull the tail, and now it can fly. Thank you.
Did you know that one of the best ways for us to learn is through stories? And one of the best ways for us to learn about what is right and what is wrong and how to treat others, how to love ourselves and love in this big world is by using stories. That's why each and every time on Music City Kids, we encourage you to read. It's important for your mind, your body, and your heart. So here's a great book that you can read with your entire family. It's a chapter book by C.S. Lewis entitled The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. My favorite character in this book is Aslan. Read it and find out why. The Pevensey kids have incredible adventures in the land of Narnia. And boy, do I wish I could find a wardrobe so I could escape into that land and learn and have fun adventures too. So read a chapter a day and talk about what you've learned about life in Narnia and life here in our big world. And share your ideas and thoughts with us. You can email me at tamara@loveinaBigWorld.org or just drop a comment below. We love to hear from you. Did you know that what we think and believe informs our actions? And something that really shapes the way we think and believe is music. What we listen to impacts what we do. Here's a very important message from our friend Melody Shepherd.
Who do we think we are? Not to reach for the stars, not to dare, not to dream, not to risk everything. Who do we think we are? Not to give, not to live, not to push, break the shell, climb the tower, ring the bell. Who are we not to try? Who are we not to try? Life's a fight, hit you hard, it's gonna hurt. Maybe the scar, don't second guess it, overthink it, learn the lesson, come back swinging. Who are we not to try? Who are we not to try? Bold and beautiful, strong and powerful, fearless and capable. Got confidence, give it 100%. Keep swinging for the fence. Who are we not to try? Who are we not to try? Who do we think we are?
Back to you, Tamara.
Thanks, Melody. Next, we've got some spoken word from our friends with Love in a Big World.
I am who I am, exactly who I was wonderfully made to be. From the crown of my head to the balls of my feet, and everything in between. And all the beautiful things that exist inside of me. My intelligence, sense of humor, and honesty. My giving heart and need to love. The weaknesses that are strengths in the making. My place in my thriving community. Who I am and my loving family. From the heritage my ancestors handed down to me, to my future descendants that will inherit my legacy. I am who I am, and all that I am meant to be. That bright smile on my face. I am me.
Friends, I know that there are big things and even scary things that are happening in our world today. But I want to remind you that you are powerful. You can shape this world with everything that you do and everything that you say. That's why it's so important for you and me to choose to love. With every word, every attitude, every action. Robert F. Kennedy said this: each time a man, a woman, a boy or girl stands up for an ideal or acts to improve the lot of others or strikes out against injustice, he or she sends forth a tiny ripple of hope. And if we are all making those choices to love, we will make a difference, because love is greater than fear. So friends, be encouraged. Hope is not lost. I've been thinking a lot, especially today, about my favorite superheroes and how I wish the Avengers were real right now. But you know what? They are real. You and I are the superheroes that this world needs. And we will make a difference as we choose to live. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Music City Kids. Make it a great day.